Again, welcome to today's design session. My name is Emisho Victor, and we're going to be doing like what's it called? Sorry, I say what's it called a lot. I say what's it called a lot. I'm working on it, but yeah, we're going to be like designing like a creative website. So I don't know if you see like all some of all these award winning websites. It's not like I can design award winning websites or any of my websites has actually won awards, but I mean that's the plan. That's where I get what's it called inspiration from. So most times I'm always looking at I'm always going on awards. I'm always going on godly dot design also to get inspiration for designs that I want to work on. So yeah, um I just try to like feed my eyes by looking at what other people have done, and I try to like get inspiration from what they're doing for what I'm going to do. So recently I've been like seeing like a trend of people like trying to like do like really in a request to do, sorry, there's a message in the chat, I think. Okay, in request to, okay, someone is raising hands. Fabricio, you can go ahead and ask a question if you have any. Hi Fabricio. Okay, so I was saying, I think, I don't know if you can hear me, but so I was saying, most of these award-winning websites, they tend to like have like really like big typography. So that's something I recently have been trying to explore in my designs as well. So most times I try to like work on like the focal elements was like a very like large chunk of typography, and then I work and build stuff around it. So if you were here last week, there's this thing I do now. I like try to integrate 3D into my designs. I'm trying to like integrate 3D because I feel like 3D just gives some sort of depth and some sort of like what's it called, some sort of interesting factor to websites. And I like when websites actually like use 3D, integrate 3D into their website. So look, I think there's one particular one I normally go for inspiration, Artemi. So the guy's a designer, Artemi Lebed Dev. Sorry, I'm merging you guys, but yeah, Artemi. Let me drop it in chat so you can check it out in your spare time. But he's someone I like. If you look at my designs, my 3D designs, you actually see that they sort of look like his own. So like he's someone that I actually like look really like his work, and I try to like follow his what's it called, his design style a lot. So let's check out the website so you can see what I mean. So basically like, there's always like a loading page. Is a loading page first, and then you like get the actual home page where you see like maybe big typography. So here he has chosen to go with what's it called, typography that has like his name. So ideally there's supposed to be like a 3D element here, but I think it's not loading up because of probably network or something. Let me see if I can load it up again. I really want to like show some stuff. I really want to show, but unfortunately it's not loading up. But like I said, you can check in your spare time and see all the 3D what's it called, bells and whistles. So you can see, I think this is what I mean. So you can see these 3 elements. For me personally, I prefer them being animated. So you can see that it's looking something like what we have here currently. Like it's glass, and then it has all this iridescent, all them iridescent whatever. So if you're not here last week, you can probably go through my YouTube channel and see the recording for this design session and how we're able to like achieve this stuff. So yeah, there's always the 3D elements. That's the focus that just brings some like sort of interesting factor to the website design itself. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's the line I'm trying to like toe with my design these days. So yeah, without much ado, let's get to work on working on ours. So we've been able to make this stuff. This 3D glass, whatever. This iridescent 3D glass logo for batch motion. So now ideally now I want to like move to the next phase, which is like designing the website. So I think today's one is going to be like a bit unique because I am going to actually be showing my process, because personally I've not actually done a website for these people. So like I am going to show how I would approach it if I actually had to design a website for batch motion. So in my spare time I've already like done some stuff, some explorations, but even with that I don't think I'm satisfied. So here on this call I'm just going to like show how I go back and forth with ideas and ideas on my designs and come up with something that actually looks good to me. So yeah, where is that? So the first thing I want to do, so sometimes what I do is actually I may export a png. I may export the png because I just want to like have it like a rough wireframe. So I may export like png. So let's see, png. So to export the your design, just press export here, and then you can select the file format, whether it's JPG or PNG or whatever, and then you can now select the ratio. So ratio means like the quality, I guess. You know how on Figma, so finally, when you want to export, in fact, on any existing software, any graphic software, most time when you want to export, you have this option that tells you 1x, 2x, whatnot. So all these things, I don't think quality is the right word I should have used there, but like it just like doubles the size of this, like, and increases like the size when you want to export it. So yeah, as I was saying, what's it called? You can press export and then you can select JPG or PNG, and then you can increase the ratio. If you want to like bigger, you can export it like that. So I did one thing I also do. I mentioned it before, like in one of my prior design sessions. So one thing I do is that I set. So let me change the background color to white so you can see okay. I set the background color to white, and then I also what I want to show is actually the camera view. So I set the background, and then I set this here, the size here that's showing response. So responsive means that when I want to export, it exports like this entire, like the full size of my screen. But that's not what I want. Actually, I want it to export in a very confined in a defined area. So what I want to do is to set this size here, set it to custom size. I mean, set it to custom size if I want it custom size. But personally, like I said, like choosing like 16:9, which is this full HD 1920 by 1080. Or you may choose portrait. If you want it in portrait mode, like in portrait mode, you may choose this one. And if you want it in square or whatever, you can just choose anyone. But personally, like I said, I choose this one. No real explanation why, but I just like choosing it because it's 16:9 aspect ratio. So anyways, you now see that I have like a confined area in which my design is showing inside of. So what I want to do now is to like zoom. I will just have to like zoom my design into view, like I want it to, like this, the size that I want it to be. So I don't want it to be too much, something like this. Let's just do like this. Okay, stay in one place, stop zooming in too much. Okay, cool. So like this, now I cannot press export. So once I press export, you see here it shows me the view that it's going to be. If I were to zoom in less, to probably show me like a less zoomed in version here. So like this, I can export as PNG, export and export as PNG. Okay, I think I also want to turn on like export that background, because ideally if you press show, it will export this white background. I don't want that in my design. I actually just want just the logo itself. So I want to hide the background and then press export. So let me export as PNG and name it what's it called, batch logo. Okay, so export as PNG. So now I'm going to place it into this design file, which is Control-Shift-K. That's crazy. So yeah, you can see in this in the Figma file, it doesn't have any background. I can now move it around and add it to my design. However, the issue I have is that like the view is not. This is not the view I want for my icon. So let's just export as export as PNG. So the first thing I want to do, change the background to. No, I don't think I'm allowing people. I don't know again. Change the background to black again. But I think black background just looks better, and it gives you some sort of effect. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. So play, export, set to to video recording. So I want to set to set the FPS to, most times I use 60 because 60 is just like smoother. But if you want, you can use 30 for size sake, and then ratio I leave it at 1 mbpm megapixels per second. Leave it at 60. That's okay. So you can press start to start recording, and press this button, start recording. When it shows the red circle, that's when you know it's already recording. So I want to record like a few times. It's just doing this motion a few times, and then I cannot press stop. So it's just going to process a bit, and then it will give us the actual version of. So let's save it as batch mp4. Okay, cool. Ideally I would have exported as a GIF from Spline, but for some reason Spline has issues with exporting as a GIF. Yes, I don't want to. So Spline has issues exporting as exporting as GIF, and sometimes it just messes up the output. Okay, So you want to export as I've exported as MP4 rather. So the next thing I want to do is to okay. Next thing I want to do is to now convert to GIF, because ideally if you have a Figma Pro version, that's fine. You can probably just move into Figma and start using it as a as a video. But I don't have a Figma Pro plan, so I'm just going to like go the long route of converting to GIF and then using the GIF inside of my Figma design, because I want that motion to be there. So what I want to do is to search for GIFSKI. There's tons of software that can actually do this conversion for you, but me, I prefer using GIFSKI because GIFSKI is actually, it's free. That's one thing, and again, it gives me like high resolution results. So that's what you want. So I want to make sure that the prototype is playing fine. Okay, plays fine. You can also trim it if you want, and then leave the FPS at 60. Everything is fine. Estimated size is going to be 13 MB. I think I mentioned before that as long as it's not above like something like 60 MB, it's always going to work inside Figma. Although it may take time to load, but it works inside of Figma. Figma accepts like high resolution GIF. So you can press convert. Just give 1 second to quickly finish up, and then you can start the actual design itself. So converting. So okay, it's finished converting. So save as. So I think someone said it's available on Windows as well. So in case you have a Windows PC, you can just add it to. You can just try to download it and see if it works. So this is the file here. I'm going to be using inside of design instead of the Figma design. So let's go to Figma now and start work. So the first thing I want to do is to add a frame. So like I said before, I said I personally like using like a 16:9 aspect ratio frame. So I'm going to add the where is it again? The phone, tablet, desktop. Yeah, desktop. So you can select any one, but me personally I prefer going for the desktop one. And then I adjust the desktop height to, because by default Figma gives you 1440 by 1024, and as the design grows you can always stretch the height. Yes, but me personally I like framing my my hero section. So as design grows I can actually extend it downwards, because someone asked me a question that do I just confine everything to like that GIFSKI what's it called, the name of the software is called GIFSKI, GIFSKI. So you can check it out. It's on Apple App Store, or you can check it out on Google and see if you can find it. So what's it called, I personally like framing my own. So I've talked about this before, about the 16:9 stuff, where since the width is 1440, I'm going to make the height 810, which makes it like a 16:9 aspect ratio frame. Because if I were to shrink it down to, if I were to make the height, lock the constrain the properties and make the height the width 16 rather, you see that the height will go to 9. And this is like a standard a standard desktop screen aspect ratio, which is why I just prefer using it. But as design grows I can actually expand it downwards, and that's totally okay. But then for the first design I'm going to be doing, I like framing it inside of this like 16:9 aspect ratio, which is the hero section. So that's that for that. So now I've done that, I'm going to import my my GIF, which is this batch GIF, whatever. So bring it inside of your design, and then it's going to be bigger than the screen maybe sometimes, so you just want to shrink it down a bit, and then let's play to see how it works. Let's play it to see how it actually works, so we can start making changes from there. So just give you 1 moment to load up, because the GIF is large, so I guess that's why it's taking a bit of time to load up. Okay, but meanwhile, while that is working, let's go ahead to like start putting all our other elements together. So ideally because I already like I'm used to like seeing designs from other people's work already, I already have like a mental picture of what I can actually do to make my design kind of look good. But one thing I also do when I'm trying to like design for a brand, okay, a brand that like reaches out to me and say I should design a website for it, I just like gain inspiration from their current aesthetics. So first of all, I just look through their current work they have. So batch motion typically like uses like all these like really large and what do you call it? They use these all caps. Their text is in all caps. So if you notice, all the text I've been using here like has actually been all caps. That was because I went through batches designs, previous design. Then I realized that, okay, you know what, these guys like using like all caps, so I want to like maintain that aesthetics in my site. Because if I were to come on this website and like make everything all small letters, there's just going to be like a disconnect. If you were to look at this batches design here and look at my design, you'd be like, it doesn't feel harmonious, like it doesn't feel like batch. So you want to like maintain that aesthetic. You want to like look at common elements that exist in their design already and take inspiration. So you can see here, even here they have what's it called, they use all caps. So me personally, I was even going to like use this particular font with this pixelated font in my design, but I think I was like, I don't have time to be looking for it, and I feel like this still works, because if you look at the other design, they don't use that pixelated font. They use like normal plain font. So that's something I do. I go through like the client's design, current design, and then I like gain inspiration from what they are currently doing, and just like try to use that in my design. So that's one thing as well. So sorry. So that's why I'm using like the all caps, and then I also like look at other people's work, which was where I showed that Artemi Lebedev guy Artemi. So I think if I load it up. So even in the loading, the way the loading sequence works, although I just realized that I did kind of the same thing, but I didn't get the explanation from this guy's website. But I just realized that the guy actually uses this kind of loader as well. So that's totally totally fine. So you can see how using 3D elements in your sites to like elevate the experience and make it just look nicer and whatnot. So that's what we're going to be doing for this one as well. So let's start with the homepage first, and then we'll go to the loading page if we have time to try to prototype the loading animation. So where is it? Main page. So we have the desktop, and I've played it already. So you can see how it works. You can see how the logo shows. So we want to like just make use of this logo in our design. So ideally, I could have exported without the background. Personally, I don't need the backgrounds, but because I am exporting as a video first, I have to have a background. The video has to have a background, and then I'm converting to GIF. So if Spline's exporting system was okay, I think you can actually export as a GIF without a background. I think so. But you can try that. You can try that in your spare time. Yeah, you can. So show and hide. Yeah. So you can try that on your own. If it works for you, then good and fine. You don't need to use GIF key and record as a video or whatnot. Just export from Spline directly. But if it doesn't work, you have to go the long route. So one thing I do as well is to make the background maybe blend with my design. If I was not using white background in this case, sorry, if I was not using black background in this case, because I'm going to use black background by changing my background to 000. So it blends. You won't see anything. You just feel like it's actually part of the design. You won't be seeing the background of the video. But if I were using a white background, this is just like a technique I use, or like a background. Let me not use white, because I think white is just to like off. Let's say something like red, I guess. So one thing I would do to make it like work for me, to make this background disappear, is just to like explore blending mode. So in this blending mode, I'll click on the GIF and then go to this blending mode section, and then I'll just like cycle through all of them to see which one makes the background disappear. So I think lighting makes the background disappear, although lighting is going to like lighting the entire thing. So you can see the effect it has on the actual subject of the GIF, but you can just explore different options and see what works best for you. So that's something I do as well. But like, since this one I'm using black background, I don't really need to like play around with them blending modes too much. Let's just go with it 000. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to do. Add this my subject, and then what I start doing is I start building my elements around my subject. So I think one thing Figma lets you do, because like this, since it's like this, I can't really like pinpoint where the that logo is inside of the design. So what I want to do is actually I want to like pick a frame in the GIF that has the logo like turned to the side, so I can actually be seeing what I'm working with. So what you want to do is click on the image, and then go to click on the like this thumbnail of the GIF or of the image. Click on it, and then you can on this player or whatever, you can move the seeker forward, and you can see that it gives you like a new frame. It gives you like a new frame from the from the GIF. So that's what I want. I want to like have it like this, so I can see what I'm working with. So I think this is fine. Now this is done. I think another thing I want to do is to like zoom it in a bit. I want it bigger. I want it like to be really bold and in your face of the user. So another thing I want to do is to move it down. So all these things I'm doing, all these like moving things down, moving things around, it's actually from all the like learned experience of looking at other sites that I think it's coming to play. So for you that maybe that's still like not really like get familiar with stuff like that, you're allowed to explore, like look at other people's work, look at this guy's work, copy. You don't have to like copy word for word, yes, but you can actually like just take inspiration, be inspired by his work, look at other works. Just go to awards, think awards, and search for 3D website, you find like tons of them. 3D website, dark 3D website. So I know a couple of them, but I can't really remember them right now. So let's just search on awards. So awards, you can just search for dark 3D website, and then you find some stuff. I think there's another one I know, dogstudio.com. Let's see, dog studio. So I'm just showing you like how I get inspiration for like layouts, website layouts, so you can also like try to like adopt it yourself. So dogstudio.co, let me copy the link and paste it in chat so you can go through dog studio. Like they're this really cool design agency, so like they do like really great work. So you should go their work and see what they have to offer. So dog studio, where is it? Dog studio. Okay, so let's just quickly see it. So you can see the loading screen. So sometimes I screenshot, sometimes I go ahead and screenshot and actually add to my design. But most times I just like look through the website and then just gain like pick one or two things that I like and just add it to my design. So let's just quickly see how it works. Control D to go up, then move it down. So while that is working, let's just start building our UI around this particular one. So move it down a bit, and then I want to like just grab my text tool, click anywhere and start typing. So bash motion. So when I'm working, I try to like come up with like a very striking, because I'm trying to come up with a what do you call it, a text for the hero section now, something that describes what batch motion is about. So I could actually, one thing I do is I could go through batch motion's page and pick out something that stands out in their in their profile or something. So I think this is a community of motion designers. Let's just copy it and then paste in design. Although I don't want to add everything in my as my hero text, because hero text is meant to be like short and punchy. So you can see this one, motion designers community. It's just short, and although it's not punchy, but it's short. So that's what we're going. That's the kind of thing we want for this one. So let's just click on it. A community of motion designers, blah blah blah, and that. So we're just going to crop it. I think for the sake of this design session, let's use the one I used for mine, which is motion designers community, because it's short and I just feel like it just like aesthetically looks cool. But if this were like I had time and this were a client project, I would like actually drill down and like come up with something that really like sounds like better than just motion designers community. So let's just copy this one and place it here. So I'm using Inter because Inter is actually like a very modern font. So most times when I'm doing design for explorations, I mostly use Inter, except I actually have a font I want to explore in mind. So I use Inter for this one, and then I'm just going to make the size 110. So most times for display text are this like really large text. Most times when I'm working with them, I tend to go and do this thing. There's this feature called trim what's it called again? Okay, cap height. I think it's trim height. Yeah? It's called trim height. So it just trims. Ideally, your text by default comes with this extra padding at the top and bottom. But when I'm working with like this really big text, I actually want it to be like, I don't want this extra space at the bottom and top. So you can just click on this option here, text option here, and then you have this what's it called, trim cap height to baseline. So click on it and to just trim all the extra padding, all the extra space at the top and bottom of the text, and make it so that the line is at exactly where the what's it called, text starts from and where it ends. So that's what I want for this text. It just looks better, and you don't have to like deal with accounts for that what's it called, extra space. So that's something you want to do for big text. But for small text, like text that you're supposed to read, I don't do it. I actually leave it like that. But for this big text, yeah, I think it's cool to have it like that. So let's just add this one, motion designers community. I'm using Inter regular, and I'm also using like the size is 110. So that's that for that. And also the logo, I think I have the logo already in my design. I shared the logo last week. I'm going to should I share again? Let me see if I can. Yeah, let me share again. So I already have the logo in my design what's it called file, right? So I'm going to share it so you can copy and use in your design as you please. So copy, where is this link? Okay, and then paste. So you can open the design file, the Figma file, and just copy the logo and paste in your design, use as you desire, so you can follow along. So ideally, I think if I were working with these clients, I would go and ask them to give me like their assets and whatnot. Give me the assets. So I'll get this logo, this what's it called, circle. I'll get the one that has the name and everything. But since I don't have that to work with, I'm just going to like just freestyle and do my own thing. So I already have this logo here, this one here. I'm going to copy, and then paste in my design. This is my design here. Okay, paste in my design here, and then I'm going to shrink it down. By shrinking down, I mean like hold what's it called, hold the shift and then scale, not shrink, scale it down. So scale is the word. Or you can just press K on your keyboard and then you can scale down to, let's say, 0.25. So it's still too big because I want it like as like in this part here. Although now I'm looking at it, I think I can actually, I think I want to even do something like more exploratory, like do something big and bold like this. So let's leave it here for now. So most times I just like throw things all over the place because if you look at this design here, I have it small, but like in this one we're exploring, I am liking the look of this, like this text here. I'm liking it here, so I may just leave it for now and just go ahead and work on other things and come back to it. So let's just leave it for now and work on that thing. So I'm just going to like add like basic navigation elements here, basic navigation element, which is all this home, work, and about. So like I said, most of what Batch is using, most if you check Batch's aesthetic, they're using like they're using like capital letters, like all caps a lot. So if you notice, I'm maintaining it here. I'm not using like small letters or anything, just all caps. And even my personal brand, just to show like how what's it called different. This is my personal brand. So my personal brand is all about small letters, like small letters. Everything. My logo is small letter. The text I'm using is small letter. If you notice, all the buttons too small letter. So if you are going for an aesthetics and sorry, an aesthetic, like try to like what's it called, stick with it and try to like define your path and just stick with that path. So for modern websites, they try to like use capital letters a lot. So it depends on you, really. It depends on you and depends on the feel you want to give your brand. So if you want to like give it like this very very serious feel, I guess capital letters. But if you want to like give like this gentle and inviting feel, I guess small letters works. Or if you just feel like it just looks better, you can just go for it. Whatever looks better, you can go for it. So that's for that. So once I have this in my design, I have the nav elements in my design. You can create them by yourself. Just write home, work, about, contact. So most time I don't like really think of this thing a lot. I just like use the same from all design. Except if this way clients work, I would actually think of what do they need. Do they need like a work section? Do they need like an about section? Do they need contact section? So I think for Batch, what they really need is actually to join community, because the community, motion designers community, so that it should actually be like what's it called, a join community something. So I am going to like probably create it later, but let's just add it there for now. And then the next thing I want to create is like a body of text that explains something, because I don't want to just have the hero section having this motion designer community and then you don't have any context to what it means or anything. Let's see a website for reference. So this guy does not do that, but ideally when you scroll, okay, it doesn't do that for his own. Okay, let's see Doc Studio. Okay, so you see Doc Studio. This is Doc Studio. So you see their what's it called, their brand statement. We make good shit. So you have it here, and then you have like some small descriptive text of what they do. So Doc Studio is a multidisciplinary, blah blah blah, and what. So that's what I want to like have on that website as well, because I want you to be able to like at a glance still understand what batch motion is actually about. So I am just going to do that. So another thing I want to do is actually I want to lock this stuff, because as I'm clicking through is affecting me. So I want to just lock it. So let me lock the layer here, so it doesn't affect. I can click anywhere. I can click and it's not work. If I want to click it again, I can probably go on lock it, and then I can go back to clicking. So that's that. So I want to have that text there first. So like I said, sometimes what I do, I just throw everything on the canvas and then I start arranging after that. Except I already have like a low fidelity design done before I start working. But most times I just throw everything on the canvas and then I start working. So you can see where we can now use this text now. This is a community of motion designers, design enthusiasts in Africa. That's the one we copied from their Twitter page. So we can now use it now as this extra descriptive text that's going to be here. So let's just have it like this and then make it smaller. So we want to make this one like smaller and more readable. So let's do like 20, I guess 20, and then do this thing. So after 20, and then make it white in color. So white F. Okay, move into the design. Let's move into our design, and then shrink the width. So that I'm not defining the width now, but then this thing is too small. So ideally, if I were working with the client, I'll tell them, okay, I had this from your Twitter page. Create more for me, like make it like what's it called, add a few more sentences to it. So since we're not doing that, we can't add a few more sentences now. We can just like use lorem ipsum. Let's use lorem ipsum. So there's a plugin I have, but I don't want to waste time running it. So let's just copy this one here and add it to this design. So add it here. So cool. Let's just copy, and then paste it, just to make him more fuller, make the text more full and have more content. So let's just leave it like this, and so like this now, since I have all the elements I want on my hero section done, I think I also want to have a button that says join community. So let's copy one of these my navigation elements, move it down. So there's already auto layouts applied already. um the height is by default is fixed to 40, and then the sides are 16. I think it should be 16. Okay, and then let's just change the text inside to get join community, join community, because this is actually like the whole point of batch. You want to, it's a community of designers, so motion designers, so once you like what's it called, spur the user to like join the community. Let's do a fill of white, and also since the logo is round, so this is where like decisions come into play. So since the logo is round, I just feel like the aesthetic that will fit it, the button aesthetic that will fit it is actually like rounded corners. So I want to like just go with that rounded logo type. And again, I feel like all the other elements, these texts are like already like bold and what's it called, bold, not bold per se, they are like all these caps. It just like feels like really sharp and everything. So I want to like tone it down with what's it called, a rounded corner. So I want to make the button fully rounded, because I just feel like it's a nicer aesthetic than having like what's it called, the text sharp cornered, and then the what's it called, button sharp cornered as well. So I want to make the button like rounded, so you can actually tone down, even out the aesthetics of the website. So yeah, join community as the major. I could also have it here, even too, but I could have it here. So join community, I could also create this and then place it inside contracts. Okay, cool. So let's just leave it there first. So you see now, like we're having like something that contextually like suits batch as a brand. So that's how I typically like approach my website designs. I think of what will be relevant to the sites that I'm working with, and then I try to like add what's it called, navigation items for those things. So that's the option there. And this thing, like I said, I want to like use all caps, all capital letters, because that's the style of it. Although some websites actually mix them, they use small letters, capital letters, and whatnot, or sentence case, and then all caps. But me personally, I just want to like stick with that all caps totally, because I feel it looks good and it will work for this one. So I'm just going to go to my Figma file, to my Figma, text options here, and then on this case, I'm just going to change case to like uppercase. And another thing I want to do, I feel like the text, they are too like close together, so I want to like increase the line height. So by default, I don't like really have a rule for this, but I just try random numbers from 120 to 140 to 150, 150%. I'm forgetting percent. So once you type it there, always add percent. Yeah, so add percent. So I think 120 looks okay, I guess. So I also want to, I feel like the regular text, because I'm using regular width, I feel like regular width, there's no hierarchy for it, looks the same in like weights with this one. So I want to like actually tone this one down, because I want like visual hierarchy to be there. So I want to reduce the regular from regular to light. Light still does not feel like, it doesn't feel like contrasting enough, because I watched it like this what's it called, typography video, where like if you want to like create contrast between typography, and you select, maybe if you select like bold for this one, you select bold for this one, or let's say okay, select regular for this one, and you want to like you want to create the next one to like either bolder or less, less bold. You skip the next one, skip the the one that follows the current weight, and choose the next, like the one that comes like 2 steps after it. So if I want to create contrast between this one and this one, I would go for semi bold for the next one. So that's how you create contrast between typography. So that's just something I just learned from like just a trick I learned from this. So this one, if I'm switching to like light, you can see like this one is regular, this one here is regular, and this one is light, and light is just what comes immediately after regular. I feel like it doesn't have enough contrast, so I'm going to go for extra light. So extra light, now if you put them together, you can see the contrast is there, although it may not be readable, and that's where you actually like start tweaking things. If it doesn't like really work in terms of like legibility, you can start tweaking things. But for now, let's not really like dwell on that too much. So let's start doing auto layout. So let's first of all like auto layout these 2 items, and then I'm going to like, this is auto layout stuff, so I'm going to like just be like really fast with this one, because auto layout is like a whole world of its own. So just make it like full width 1440, and then what I want to do is like make this one hog. Okay, should I make it hog content? Let me make it fill. Let me make this this major text fill container. Make this one as well. Let me do fill for this one as well, I guess. So and then the space in between them, it's currently 0. Let me just make it like something like, let's do 120, I guess. 120. Or you know what? Let's make this one hug. I want this one to like actually be full. I don't want it to like, I want it to be hug content. And then I'll break it down myself. I'll like, I can, if I make it hug, it means I can like tamper with this in my, or make it fixed rather. Can tamper with the, what's it called, the width myself, and to affect this other one. So this one is currently set to, what's it called, to fill. So it will shrink and increase based on the thing. Like I said, auto is like another word, so I don't really want to go into the details too much. So now that it's done, I want to like add a padding because it's currently touching the edges. So I want to like add a padding around it. So just come here and add, what's it called, let's do like 80, I guess. 80 padding be okay. And at the top and bottom as well, 80 as well. So you can see that we currently have this what's it called, the text next settings have this auto layouts whatever. So let's make it, add a fill to it, add a fill of black, so you can see, or red, let me do red so you can see what I mean. So you can see like, okay, yeah, I think it's even looking good self. This is looking good, but let's not go too crazy in this experiment. So you can see there's padding around it. So let me just remove the spacing, the red color now, so you can see the image behind it. So now that it's done, I think I want to also like shrink down this text. I think it's too much. I want to just like crop some of them out. Okay, cool. And you can see that now it's even shrunken. You can even see more because before, well, we're going to get to it. Yeah, we're going to get to it. Okay, remove some of the text. And another thing I want to do is, another thing I like doing is that I feel like it's just having like this extra space. It doesn't feel uniform. So most times I like explore using what's it called, justify text. So I do justify. So you can actually like there's like this margin, like it goes end to end. So I just feel like it looks better, sort of. In some cases it may look better, but in some cases it may not. So I explore that option and then I see if it works or not. But for now, I think it works, and we're just going to like leave it like that. So now that it's done, this logo, I think I want to shrink it down. I want to make it small because there's already like this big logo here that's drawing attention to the batch. So I don't think I need another big batch logo here. If this one was not here, probably I would have used this one as big. But for now, since it's here, let's just leave it as small. So let's shrink it down to like in size, in height. Lock the resolution and then make the height. Let's do something like 24, I guess. 24 looks too small. Let's do 32. Okay, 32 is fine. So I'm going to like make it auto layout it with this other, what's it called, these other navigation elements here. Mark them and then Shift A to add auto layout. Then I'm going to centralize the auto layout here like this, and then I'm going to like make the auto layouts group full width by changing the, what's it called, changing the whatever to fixed, and then set it into 1440, which is the width of the desktop. So now I've done that, I can now centralize. And then the next thing you want to now do is to like do space between. So first of all, to do space between, just you can actually click on this space in between them and press space to just like to separate both elements, to like to go to both ends of the, what's it called, the auto layout group. So that's what you want to do. So I also want to like add a padding. So the padding I'm going to be using is this padding I used for this one as well. So the padding of 80 on the left and right, but left and right rather. But on the top and bottom, I don't think I need the padding of 80. I can do something like what's it called, 24 or 16. Let's do 16, and then move to the top. So let me add a fill and make it red so you can see what I mean. So you can see how it works, how the navbar is set up. So you have padding of 80 by the left, and then 16 top and bottom. So that's that for the, what's it called, for the what do you call it, for the navbar. So let's play now and see what we have. This one, I think I also want to like set the auto layout what's it called, direction or alignment to bottom, because I could actually do up, but I feel like there's just this extra space at the bottom that's just like feeling like really useless, and I don't really like the look of it. So I want to like click on the auto layout group and make it align to the bottom instead, so that this one has at the same bottom as this text. It just looks visually, personally I feel it looks visually better. So let's just go with it for now. Like I said, these were client projects. I could actually like work on it for hours. Like I could explore different options, like you saw in this design. I was playing with different options and everything. But since we want to like get something done for this design session, which is why I'm just like going with what my guts tell me. So let's go with this for now and let's play. So let's play. So you can see how it looks like, really interesting. Let's make it white so you can really see the. So let's make it a bit less dark. what is making this thing not change background? Okay, let's change it to red. Okay, I think I know why it's not changing background, because the image is zoomed in. So anyways, that's that. So you can see like how it looks kind of interesting. If this were a landing page, it's just like it's just have like this dynamic mission. So I did what I want to do personally. What I would have done personally is that I would have like in my design I would have made this, what's it called, this stuff to just be rotating constantly, instead of actually like turning, closing and opening. I'll just make the stuff be rotating like non-stop. I think I have a design for that. Do I? Let's see quickly. Without much time again, but let's see if we can get something done. Nope. Okay, yeah, I do have. So let me use my old design, not design I exported from this thing. Let me use my my design here and just drop into the file. So I'm going to replace it. I'm going to replace that old or that other one we did. So this is my own design here from like my own personal inspiration. So just move it to the middle. Like I did the other one. To the middle. And then let's press play. Oh boy. Let's press play on it and see what we have. So it's going to take some time to load. But while it's loading, I just want to like share another secret of something I do to like make my design even more interesting. Although it's a small thing, but I think it goes a long way to like affect the look of your design. So this layer currently is at the back, like behind the text. So it's not doing anything. Like the text is just above it. So there's nothing happening. So what I want to do is I want to move the layer to be above the text. So let me do normal. So above the text. So currently it's above the text. If you can see, it's covering, like it has this black background that's covering the text and whatnot. So I want to leave it like this, and then I want to like play with blending modes. So I'm going to move to darken, multiply, burn. So I should just keep moving, just be seeing like different effects. So lighting works. So what I want to do, I want some of the effects of this logo, of this gradient logo, to like bleed into the text behind it, which is why I'm actually playing around with them. Because if it was behind, it's nothing is doing any bleeding, nothing is bleeding into anything, everything is just on its own layer and nothing is affecting anything. But if it's above it and then I'm playing with blending mode, it's going to like give me an effect. Okay, let me just do this one. So you can see here now this particular effect. You can see that how the color is intersecting with the text, and it's just like giving the text like this really fancy fancy look and whatnot. So that's the kind of thing I'm actually going for this thing. But this one, the logo doesn't show, so I don't want to use this version. I don't want to use multiply. So I'm going to keep playing around lighting, screen, and whatnot. So different looks cool. Different looks cool because different. You can see how the logo here is intersecting with the text, and it just gives it like this really vibrant. It gives the text like this makes it more vibrant. So which is what you want. It's also intersecting with the text here and here as well. So it just makes the the whole text more, instead of just being a plain white text, it gives you like more vibrancy and whatnot. So that's what you want to let's see the version. So you can see how it's working here. You can see how when it's turning, like it's affecting the way the text looks. So it's just like something I do that to just make my design more interesting. Blending modes like are really fun. So you should actually have fun exploring how blending modes like affect your design. So that's basically that for that. So another thing I'm going to do is to simulate the entry. So how the user is going to, like, if your user was coming, like log into the website, I don't just want it to just show like this. I want it to actually like come from the bottom, like just like have some fancy effects. So I think one thing you want to do, when you have your logo above every other element, you want to lock the logo, because if you don't lock it, every time you want to click this motion design, to be selecting the logo instead, because logo is actually the first element. So once you lock it on the layers panel, you can now select elements that are behind it and you can continue your work. So that's that for that. So one thing I want to do, like I want to simulate how it's going to like enter, because if you realize on this Dog Studio website, let's reload again and see if it works. We don't have much time again, so I don't think we can do much. So you can see how like it's subtle and it's fast, but then it's just like really interesting to like not have the website just appear. You want to have like some fancy subtle effect. You can see how the text like come from the bottom, and then the dog itself comes from the side. So me, I like doing those kind of things for my websites a lot. So if you just replay multiple times, you're going to see what I mean in your spare time. Even this guy's website, let's see if it works. I think he's on just show. So once he finishes loading. Okay, he doesn't really do any fancy thing with his text, but me, I like doing fancy stuff with my text because I feel like it just like gives like this really nice experience to the entry of your website. And so that's what I personally do. So if I had time, I wouldn't have time much, but let's see what we can do. So what I can do is on this screen, I'm going to like do a before and after state. So in this before state, the logo here first. So the logo, I want to shrink it down. So I'm going to unlock it here and then shrink it down a bit, because on this screen, so what the plan is that on this screen is small, on the before state is small, and then on the after state it grows to its normal size and then starts the rotation cycle. So that's what you want to do. So I want to shrink it down and then probably maybe move it down a bit, I guess. Move down a bit so it grows from this bottom, like grows upwards. So shrink it down even more, I think. I want to shrink it down even more. I think it's fine like this. And then all these ones, I want to like have them, let's say, okay, let me move them to the top. Okay, move them to the top a bit. Move them up. So this is the before state. This is the before screen. And then all these text, if I had time, I was going to like break the text into like individual elements and then like make them come out like different time, but we don't have that time. So what we're going to do, although I've done that particular effect in another video, so you can go to my YouTube channel and check what's it called. I think design session 5 or design session 4 rather. You're going to find out what's it called, how to prototype animate text in UI there. But for this one, let's just do like basic stuff. So let's just move it to the bottom a bit and what's it called, reduce opacity. So reduce opacity to like 0. So opacity is here. Just reduce it to 0. It's typically 100. Reduce it to 0. And then reduce this one as well to 0. So everything here is 0, 0, 0. Like, but then this one comes from the top, comes from the top. So let's also click on it as well and make it 0 in opacity. So now everything here, like all the opacity has been reduced and all the locations have been moved. So the idea is to have them move from this location to this location. So what you're going to do next, once you've done this before state, you're going to now just link the prototypes with each other. So link this screen to this screen and then make it not on click. We could do on click, but let's do after delay. Let's just do on click because we don't really have time to start exploring stuff. So let's do on click. So once I click on this screen, but ideally let's do after delay so that you actually know that okay, it's supposed to be after delay. So ideally it's going to be after delay, so that after once the delay, after the particular amount of time on the screen, it changes to this screen. So you now do that and then you change the animation type to smart animate, and then ease out. I think ease out is fine. Let's just go with ease out and then set the time to like 800. I think 800 is a good time. Let's do on 1000. 1000 is like I think 1000 milliseconds is like 1 second, I think. So yeah, let's work with this, and then I'm going to just do the same because I want to actually like have a back and forth effect. So I want to be able to see how it moves from this screen to this screen and that screen to that screen. So I'm going to like drag the screen to this one as well and make it to on click. Let's just do on click. On click is fine. So on click is fine. So it's going to carry the same settings as other than the on click. It's going to carry the same settings as this other one. So let's just see how it works in the prototype mode. So here's the prototype now. So if I were to click on it, like if it was on this screen and I press click on it, you see what it does. So the reason it's coming back by itself is because I've set it to after delay. So once it's on this screen, after a particular amount of time, it moves. Let's just do it. Let's change it to on click. On click. So you just click between both screens to change between both screens. So click on this screen to go to that other screen. Click on the other screen to come to this screen. So you can see like it has like this fancy, if your website was loading up, you want to like give it like this subtle like easing in effect. So like I said, if I had time, I would have made this text animate like individually, because on Doc Studio's website, if you see the way it comes, you can see that the text actually animates like individually. We make good shade text. You can see how they come up. So I could have done that, but we don't have time again, and we're already like we've already done a lot. So yeah, let's just do this. So this is how to like make like really nice really nice website loading interaction. So another thing I could also do is to add like a loading screen. So these were loading screens I was exploring, but because we don't have time, we can actually like do some of this today. So maybe in that class we could actually like do something really fancy. I think on this one, let me even show what I even did. Let me show what I was able to come up with. Although it's not perfect, it's not even finished. It's not even perfect. It's not even finished. Not even perfect. It's not finished at all. But let's just see like what we could have done and what we can actually do with Figma. So you can see on this screen I have this loading progress bar. I also have this the batch logo loading here, and then the plan was to have like this number to be counting, and then this loading to be like to be like beeping, this dots to be beeping, because I mean it's batch motion, it's about motion, so I want to like have as much motion as I can pack into the website, and just to like sell the idea of this is a motion and what's it called, design website. So maybe in another class, or maybe in like I think I should probably do another tutorial for it, like a separate tutorial, a tutorial video instead of a class like this where I actually like animate this stuff. So I'm going to like try to work on that, and let's see how it goes. So that's basically how I stuff like so from this, for the idea is to have it move from this loading screen to that, to them, and then once it moves from that loading screen, just like dog studio, you see how you have the loading screen first, and then from loading screen it moves to what's it called, the intro screen, which is what you want to also do for this particular batch motion website. So which is why I had initially, I had after delay here. So I don't have to click on it. So that's basically how it works. That's basically how I work with what's it called, prototyping websites on what's it called, on Figma. So in case you have any questions, you can just go ahead and ask now. Otherwise, I think we've actually like really, we've come to the end of today's design session. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. But meanwhile, like I said, you can always watch the recap of this what's it called, of this video on YouTube. The name, I think the name of the what's it called YouTube channel is Emisho. Just search for Emisho. Emisho Victor. So I have all the videos of all the previous design sessions there. How we made this particular what's it called, rotating stuff. It's there on YouTube as well, and even this particular one. Although I have to do some training because of the what's it called, the unscrupulous elements we had that popped into the code. But yeah, I have to. But yeah, I'm going to upload it maybe on Sunday or so, and you can go back. You can go back anytime next week and just watch the video and follow along with what we've done so far. So that's that. And if you have any questions, this is the time for you to go ahead and ask. Okay, since there's no question, I'll just take it that what's it called, we're all good, and we can just go ahead. So yeah, thanks again for showing up. I'm sorry about the whole intrusion by the people that were just spamming the call and whatnot, but yeah, I hope next time it's better. And thanks again for showing up. Thank you. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.